Well, now you've been through the alphabet systematically. So let's try and use some of your skills, your practice, put it to more practice. So pause the video and see if you can name all the consonants, that is these main letters. We'll come back around to the points underneath the vowels, but see if you can name all the main letters that are in this top line. Pause the tape and try it. And here's the answers. So this is Vav, or Wow, depending on how you're pronouncing it. Yod, Kof, final Mem, or Mem. Va, Ya, Kam, Vayakam, or Wayakam, if you're doing that as a Wow. Yod, Vav, Nun, Hey. This is Yonah, which we'll talk about what the Holam Vav is when we now turn to the vowels in the next set of videos. Lamed, Beit, Resh, Chet. This is the first time we've seen a Chet. You saw it in the alphabet video, but here it is, in the flesh, in the meat. We've got a Chet, which is a kind of sound. So lif roach. And we're gonna talk about how we pronounce the Beit with and without the dots in a transliteration video. After we've gone through the vowels, then we'll learn a little bit about different kinds of dots, or dagishes, as they're called. This is a dagish, and there's no dagish here, but there's a dagish here. More on dagishes in the future. Tav, Resh, Sheen. Well, this is the first time we've seen a sheen. It's like a pitchfork, as I said, I think, in the video, with the dot on the right. And a yod and a sheen and a hey. So Tarshisha. Any guess as to what that word is? Tarshisha? That's right. It's Tarshish. He's going to Tarshish. Mem. So this is a final mem. This is an initial mem. Lamed, Pei, Nun, Yod. This is Milifne, from before. And this is a doubling dagish. You'll learn about that a few videos from now, so you don't have to know the dagish yet, but that's a dagish. And then we have Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hopefully you may remember that word because it's very important. It is Yahweh, the name of God. So you don't need to know the translation, but here it is. And rose up Jonah to flee to Tarshish from before the Lord, from before Yahweh. All right, but we're going to swing back around. We'll do Jonah 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're doing the consonants. We'll swing back through those 3 verses again, looking at the vowels, and then we'll swing back through those verses again, learning about dagishes and things like that, and then we'll move on. And you'll be very glad to move on by the time we get there. Okay, pause the video and see if you can name all of these consonants. There are a few vowels, but we'll talk about that in a bit, that are this main line. Pause it, and here's the answer. Vav, Yod, Resh, Dalet. That's a dagish. Sorry, can't help myself. This is Va, Ye, Red. Va, Ye, Red. Va, Ye, Red. Ya, Fo. That's Joppa. Yafo. Yod, Pei, Vav. Then we have Vav, Yod, Mem, Tzadeh. Is this the first Tzadeh we've seen? I think this may very well be the first Tzadeh we saw. I don't think we saw Tzadeh in the other verses. Maybe we did. And Aleph. So this is Vayimza. Vayimza. And he found. Aleph, Nun, Yod, Hey, Aniyah, a ship. He found a ship. Bait, this is a bait with a dagish. So I'm going to pronounce it B instead of V. This one I pronounced like a V because it didn't have the dagish. And this one I pronounced like a B because it does have the dagish. Again, don't worry, we'll get to the dagishes. Dagishes are coming. Dagishes are coming. The dagishes are coming. I mean, don't feel overwhelmed again. I'm throwing things you don't have to know now. And then when you do have to know it, it'll be a little bit more familiar. What you need to know now is that this is a bait, and that's an aleph, and that's a hey. Ba'ah. Okay? And then, wait, didn't I see that up here? I did. Tav, Resh, Sheen, again, Yod, Sheen. Tarshish. The translation is, and he went down, Joppa. The word to isn't there, but we have to put it in it to make good English. He went down to Joppa. Vayimza, and he found, Aniyah, a ship, Ba'ah, going, Tarshish, to Tarshish. The to isn't there, but we need it to make good English. All right, pause the video and see if you can name all those consonants. How'd you do? Here's the answer. Vav, Yod, Tav, final nun, right? There's a middle nun right here. This is, you grabbed a hold of that and pulled it down and made a final nun. Vayetain, and he gave. Vayetain. Seen. Oh, wow. Notice the dots on the different pitchfork. The dot on the right was sh. The dot on the left is s. So this is the letter seen. So this is seen, and this is sheen. It's kind of the same letter, but pronounced differently depending on where we put the dot. Seen, sheen, tav. Remember the final three letters of the Hebrew alphabet as we do it in the alphabet song, at least. So this is Sakara. He gave its fare, the boat's fare, whatever it was, what money he needed to pay. Sakara. Vav, Yod, Resh, Dalet, Vayered, I think it is actually, same word as we had here, and he went down, Ba, in it, Lamed, Beit, Hey. I'm not going to tell you what that dot is. This is a Dagesh. This is something else. I'll tell you later. Okay, I can't help myself. It's a mapik. It's the difference between a hay that is kind of, it's empty, I'm falling, it's not a real hay, and I'm a real hay. Anyway, you don't need to know these things. I'll tell you about them later. I just can't help myself. But anyway, this is bah humbug in it. Lamed, bait, notice no Dagesh. With the Dagesh, it's b. Without the Dagesh, it's v. Don't worry, you don't have to know that yet. You don't have to know it yet, but it's a bait. That's what you need to know. Lamed, bait, vav, aleph. Lavo, ayin, mem, Dagesh, hey, final mem. So here we have a middle M and a final M. And notice it looks different if it's in the middle or the beginning and the end. So this is imahem, with them. So that's translated. And he gave its fare, and he went down in it, into the boat, to go with them. And I had to do a second page, I'm sorry. Tarshisha, milifnei Yahweh, to go with them to Tarshish from before Yahweh. He's running away from the Lord. Run away! I don't want to go to Nineveh. And the letters are, can you pause the tape and do them? And here's the answer. Tav Resh, Sheen, Yod, Sheen, Hey, Tarshisha, to Tarshish. Mem, Lamed, Dagesh, Pei, Nun, Yod, Milif, Ne, and then Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, Yahweh, from before Yahweh. And there you have it. This has been the letters, the consonants of Jonah 1:3. I hope that you're beginning to work them out and know these letters. Don't worry, even if it's a little, iffy right now, over and over and again, it will be easy. What's hard today will be easy tomorrow. So, Jonah 1:3.